I'm headed to English.
For Ashley Kangas, these halls,
Reading day today, my favorite. I love reading.
have become her path to recovery.
Yes, I've reached 18 months clean and sober.
When Ashley first enrolled in this Lake Oswego school, she was 16 years old and a sophomore, fighting a methamphetamine addiction.
I was previously at Tigard High School and I needed some more support in my recovery. I was definitely lonely. I didn't have many friends. I was a cheerleader and you can guess how judgmental they can be. But I wanted somewhere I wasn't like pretending to be someone else when I was.
She found that at Harmony Academy.
I felt like I just couldn't be myself.
So Harmony Academy is a recovery high school. It's based on the national model, and recovery schools are places that provide an education for youth in recovery from substance use and co-occurring disorders.
At Harmony Academy, there are currently around 30 students. Recovery mentors walk the halls, and drug tests happen twice a month. Students must choose to enroll.
You know, when you decide to get sober, it can feel like a huge jump because it's like a security blanket.
We have the exact same diploma requirements as any Oregon high school. We provide the Oregon diploma. What's atypical about the school is that recovery is infused into every part of the education here. We do searches if we think that there's drugs here, and we're really committed to having this be a place free of substances. And it's hard. It's swimming upstream all the time.
There are 3 recovery schools like this in Oregon. The other 2 are in Portland and Salem.
There's this need, communities are seeing a need for adolescents to get these services.
Right.
Those behind the push
So I'm a co-founder of Harmony High, helped start it.
have plans for a total of 9 schools statewide after a bill passed in Salem 2 years ago to pay for it.
Pretty much 3 every biennium, but right now there's not funding in the state's budget to open up the next 3 schools.
In Governor Tina Kotek's recently proposed budget, she included funding for just 1 more school.
It's not fair to pull the plug at the last minute.
Tony Vesna and his team now working with lawmakers to create a bill that would put $8 million back into the state's budget for recovery schools.
There's a lot of communities that have put in a lot of work to make sure they can make application for these next 3 schools to open.
Like Mike Dyer in Lane County.
It was disappointing. I mean, it really was disappointing because this, there's a lot of energy behind this.
His team has already applied for state money to open a recovery high school in Eugene.
We're just concerned that if we don't receive the grant this time, it's uncertain as to when the state will again be sending out grant applications for recovery high schools.
A spokesperson for Governor Tina Kotek sent KGW the following statement, saying in part, Governor Kotek understands that recovery schools have been effective for helping youth in recovery from substance abuse, and that is why her recommended budget maintains base funding for recovery schools. The funding increases the number of schools in Oregon from 3 to 4.
Yeah, if we deprioritize adolescents during a time where we've had really high overdose rates and we already have a system that hasn't been invested in for kids, of course the abysmal outcomes that Oregon has when treating kids is only going to get worse.
Without recovery high school, I don't think I would still be clean and sober.
Now, there are 3 more recovery schools currently on the path to opening in Medford, Eugene, and LeGrand. They just need the funding to do so. As it stands now, only 1 will be awarded the state money needed to open. Now, if nothing changes in the state budget, plans for more of these schools right now would likely end. But let's talk about funding. We're told each school costs about $1 million to run per year. That comes out to about $50,000 per student, compared to an average of $17,000 Oregon pays per student in public schools. Now, for some larger context, the governor has proposed a $17 billion budget for the state's Department of Education over the next 2 years. Now, those behind this recovery work say you can't really put a price tag on it because we're talking about a student's life. Someone who, like Ashley, that junior I met today, says would not be clean and sober if it wasn't for her recovery school. Okay, so talk to us. What do you think? Should the legislature help fund several more of these recovery high schools? Or is 1 more, like Governor Kotek has proposed, enough for the time being? Email us, thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090.